Good morning to all of you. Let me start by saying that I'm so pleased to be here today and to take part in this important Euro-Asian Forum appointment, which sees so many important representatives of the political arena coming from different countries and gathers them here. I believe that Eurasia is first and foremost a geographical concept. It defines that area which is including both Europe and Asia, but nonetheless they are both representing a single continental platform, a single continental mass. There is no single dividing line which is acknowledged or recognized unless the one we well know, which is the Urals. Now, I think that this introductory word, a few words, are important because I aim at saying that this closeness, geographic closeness, should stand as a bridge to allow for closeness from the economic point of view, marketing point of view, trading point of view. The engine of this initiative, the Eurasia initiative, certainly is the Russian Federation, with which Italy has always had a privileged relationship. And so we really hope that the current situation, which characterizes the relations of our Italian Republic with the Russian Federation and the European Union at large, may find soon a solution which will vigorously relaunch our trade, exchange, and commercial flows, which could be much, much more improved and more robust. The international sanctions should not go unconsidered. The reduction of the investments and the oil prices, which have been affecting inevitably our economic partnership with Moscow, together with the trends of the ruble. In the energy sector, the Russian Federation still is one of the main players, and we obviously hope and wish it to stay so now and in future years. This is the reason why we've been amongst the most convinced supporters of the need of never closing the dialogue channels with Russia, but rather we've been probing all of the possibilities and the non-controversial pathways so as to focus on sectors that are not been affected by sanctions. Now, obviously, sanctions are not the last resort. The last goal is not the one of isolating Russia nor of compromising its own economy. To the very contrary, according to our own vision, the aim is the one of bringing back Moscow at the very center of the dialogue, so as to once again recognize and allow and acknowledge that international role that she well deserves. According to this principle, quite obviously we are to accept the political cost, the economic cost of sanctions. We have to live with it. But obviously this is also standing as an unprecedented challenge as far as the economic and industrial system here in Italy. Let's just think of the remarkable credit limitations which make it difficult to fund investment projects. Just like the Russian embargo as far as the agri-food sector is concerned. The only way to face this situation is the one of allowing for a system and to build up a system so as to make it so that unaffected sectors, the sectors unaffected by the sanctions, may probably increase and thrive and flourish. The Italian system was capable of bypassing many other difficulties and difficult moments which have been bringing about some difficulties, especially during the 1998 and 2008 crisis. Our companies and businesses could adjust to those very unhappy situations, and in the end they were strengthened only too often because of their incredible capacity of accessing and gaining new market shares, new market quotas. And let's hope that these moments will not be frequent in history, but my wish is that this successful result will once again happen for future times. As I said at the time of the round table, at the time of the Economic Forum in St. Petersburg, that was held some months ago, the Italian industrial system is ready to support our companies, which are aiming at intensifying the industrial cooperation with the Russian partners and to start new joint ventures, new initiatives, partnership initiatives, by means of investments in the country, and also by allowing technology transfers and shareholding operations, which may allow us to follow the development projects and to monitor the development projects in the country. We are willing to support the process whereby we will replace imports, the policy of imports adopted by the Russian government in order to allow for new productive sectors to be launched, the industrial sector, the mechanical sector. I would like to say how nowadays also that this situation should be considered in a much broader perspective, and the relations between our countries should embrace the entire economic union at Euro-Asian level, thus including other counterparts, forefront counterparts. And I think that the challenge is that is a challenge that Europe should be ready to seize, whereby there is new dialogue with the entire Euro-Asian areas. And in order to allow for this integration at Euro-Asian level, we should allow for interactions with the other surrounding regional systems. There is a virtuous scenario which needs to be favored, and within this scenario the economic operators will invest, produce, market, trade, allow for investments on both sides with no particular tax-related, customs-related difficulties or obstacles in a climate which is going to be favorable. So this is how we should try and translate the geopolitical form of this great cooperation space, which reaches out and goes from Lisbon to Vladivostok. So this interaction between two blocks, regional integration blocks, which want to multiply trading activities and investments on the basis of the rules of the World Trade Organization. And I believe that each state is a member because of its own choice, not because of external pressures. And this is the reason and the basis upon which they should agree a significant sharing of rules and regulations. Such a reference picture would then stand as a paradigm for the integration of neighboring areas. And on both sides, there wouldn't then be any temptations to adopt a zero-sum game, but rather adopt a cooperative approach whereby we could de-dramatize the concept of borders, and this should bring about great benefits for everyone. So the dialogue between the European Union and the Euro-Asian Union is of paramount importance so as to favor the economic and trading cooperation between these two geographical areas, with consequent increases at business level. But the reduction of administrative barriers within the Euro-Asian Union and the sharing of standards and technical regulations between the different countries could, in a future time, which is not that far after all, favor the export flows from the European Union, especially for small and medium businesses, that only too often are less capable of coping with the burdensome costs that ensue from these economic rules and regulations. So Italy looks at the possibilities of having a constructive dialogue so as to promote economic and trading relations that are going to be stable, profitable for the entire Euro-Asian community at large, for the industrial, entrepreneurial Euro-Asian community at large, I would say. So I am sure that in a moment of difficulty, just like In other moments, we know that in difficulty may be found the opportunity for a challenge. And thanks to everyone's cooperation, I'm sure that we will seize these opportunities and challenges. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for this participation, this invitation to participate to this important manifestations, and I wish you the best success.